Hi, lovelies. In case you have forgotten, my name is Jessica and welcome to Makeup Misfit. Yes, it has been quite a while since I have been on here once again, and I apologize. I was really hoping that 2024 was going to be my year to get back into panning just as much as it was back in like 21 or 22 and just go hard with everything. But it has not been, unfortunately. So my fingers are crossed for next year. But I figured we would just kind of sit and chat a little bit. I want to update you guys on a few things. But more or less, I just haven't been around as much as I've wanted to. I have been constantly thinking that I need to sit down and film for the next coming update for whatever project it might be. And before you know it, that day has come and gone. And I was like, okay, well, maybe the next one. I think a big part of it, especially kind of recently over the last 2, maybe 3 weeks or so, is I just don't think I've really felt like emotionally able to do this. I love it, even though this is something that makes me so happy, brings me so much joy. I love sitting down and filming and updating you guys and all of that stuff. I think I was just kind of slowly starting to slip into a little bit, like dipping my toes into the tiniest bit of seasonal depression, and I am trying so hard to get out of it. I'm doing a little bit better, but I am really hoping that I can actually sit down and film and get this back to where I want it to be, get back on track and continue this. Now, with that being said, because it is the end of October, most projects that I have started in January that go until December, I usually end them in November. So I'm going to end a couple of projects now. I am going to officially end a few projects that may go a little bit longer than December, but we're going to chat about them one by one. And of course, I'm going to keep projects going because I still need something to do. So when I'm canceling or ending these projects, it's not to say that there's no use on stuff. I'm sure a few things have slid under the rug and I've completely forgotten about them, but I'm not going to update you guys on specific products, just kind of on the project in general, where I'm sitting at with it, my thoughts and feelings towards it, and possible ideas for next year. So the projects that I am officially ending, I have not updated in a little while, and I just don't really feel is something I want to continue on for the next month, really, is going to be my Advent Calendar Project Pan, Birthstone Beauty, and the other one is probably going to be Panicure. Now, Advent Calendar Project Pan, I was using my mini perfumes, like the sample sizes, and I have gone through so many more of those than I would have if I never did this project. So I am really happy with the progress that I've made on it. The rest of the ones that I have that are still in the Advent Calendar, I'm probably just going to take them and pull them into a couple of other projects here and there just to still make sure that I'm getting my use on them. I am still using those little things. So like I said, it's not like I'm not making any progress on things. I just haven't been sitting down to update them. So whatever's left over for the next little while will be thrown into other projects here and there. So you still will see those, but sitting down and filming that update just wasn't really as exciting as I thought it was going to be. So I do not think that I'm going to do an Advent Calendar project in 2025. The next one that I am officially ending is Birthstone Beauty. And as much as I did enjoy that project, I haven't really been making much progress over the last couple of months. Now, the one thing that I am super excited about is the fact that I had pulled in my What's Up Beauty Geodes palette into that project untouched, and I have had so much use on that palette. I have so many pans going, even a couple of shades. I think I have 4 pans altogether, but I have a couple more shimmers that are so close to hitting pan. And without this project, I probably wouldn't have very much use on that palette, if at all, right now. So I'm super happy that I was able to make the amount of progress and show that palette the amount of love that it has. So I'm really excited about that because I've also learned that I really do enjoy that palette, and I want the Dragon's Eye still. I want that palette. Panicure. So I have not been updating this project at all for the last little while. I think one of the last ones I did was like a shorts. I may, if I remember, post shorts as my updates for this project. I do my nails all of the time. They are always changing, like a couple times a week. So unfortunately, you guys haven't seen that because I haven't been filming, but when I do film, I throw my hands around. You can see what my nails look like. Unfortunately, I just haven't actually sat down, done the editing, like posting the pictures in the video and all of that. And I haven't even really been taking pictures of my nails. It's more just getting them done and moving on from that. So I'm kind of hoping to redo this one again next year. I kind of have an idea because I have quite a few Holo Taco polishes. I did a Holo Taco collection video as one of my panicure updates. It has grown since then, which I knew it was going to. So an idea that I kind of have in mind is to use every single one of my Holo Taco polishes. And I kind of maybe want to do like a panicure update for that, just to make sure that I got through everything, whether it's a full manicure of just one color or a skittle of anywhere between 2 and 5 colors, however I might decide to do it. So next year, even though I've only been using Holo Taco for this project over the last couple of years, and that's really the only nail polish that I actually use, I may try to make sure that I hit every single nail polish and kind of make that my panicure, because you can really make that project however you want. It's just using your polish and talking about your peak, which is your favorite, and your pit, which is your least favorite, and that should be easy enough to do. And it might be a good way for me to actually keep track of the polishes that I'm using. So that is an idea for next year. Let me know what you think of that. Pan that palette, I will have an update for November, and I'm probably going to end it on that November 1st update. So that is coming up really, really quick. Whether I do a Pan That palette next year or not, I do not know. The Pantastic Ladies is on their second round of narrowing down what the theme is going to be for 2025. I think that just went up yesterday. So I don't know. I was looking at the theme possibilities, and I don't know if it's something that I want to do. I really love the idea of Pan That palette. You've heard me talk about it in this year's Pan That palette towards the beginning, the intro, the first update. I love the idea of it. I just don't know if it's something that I want to do, considering I have Project Level Up and I have Panning Solitaire, which is essentially pretty close to the same thing. So that one's still up in the air. If I come across a palette that I feel like I really want to do Pan That palette with, then I may possibly do it. But right now, if I choose to, I want the palette to be a small palette. The one that I'm working on right now is the Lorac Mini Pro palette, so it is a very small 6-pan palette, and I'm looking at something close to that size if I decide to continue on with it next year. Fantastic Ladies theme or not, so we're gonna have to just see how that plays out, and I will make my decision closer to the end of this year. Next is Pan That Face palette. So I have been using a couple of things. Now, if you watched any of that project, I think it was like June time, I got rid of the Luminizer Squad highlighting palette that I was using, and I pulled in the Sweet Peach Glow face palette from Too Faced. I almost forgot for a second. So all of the first month, I went hard on that palette, and I got a lot of love and a lot of just usage on it. The last, dwindling uses each month afterwards, I have not used it since, I want to say, like August, maybe into the mid of September. So at least for the last month or so, a little bit longer, I have not used that palette at all, but I have actually switched and used a Sigma Duo that I have. Again, I've only dipped into it a couple of times, but I was still trying to keep that going. I wasn't really feeling the peach tones too much, but what I decided to do is stop using that on like more of a regular basis. And there's a blush in my collection that I want to completely finish off. It's in the MAC and Jeremy Scott collab. It's the CD where I've already finished the bronzer, I already finished the highlighter and other projects a couple of years ago at this point, and I just want to finish off the blush so that whole face palette is completely gone. So that's where my focus is right now. Now, I have watched Alessandra Lisette with her face palette project, and she pulls in individual products. I haven't watched them in a while. I haven't really been watching a whole lot, to be completely honest with you. So she may still have a face palette plus the individuals. I did think about that for a second as well. But again, I want to show some love to all of my face palettes because some of them are getting pretty neglected. So I do want to keep pan that face palette. That probably will continue. I am just going to end it right now. But that will start up again in probably January. I'm just gonna let myself play, focus on this one blush, see what else I pull into, and then probably start January. I will decide what I want to work on and how I want to do the project. I might do it quarterly like I kind of was towards the end of this, but we'll just have to see what I'm feeling. Project Level Up, I think, is going to be my main eyeshadow project. I've really been enjoying that. I will have an update for that in November, so stay tuned for that one. I am going to be ending it then as well, so wherever that palette is sitting at, that's where it's going to be. So that is going to be on November 5th. So stay tuned, that's only a few more days away. But that is the one project that I think I'm like the most excited about for next year. You guys can't see, but in front of me I have all of my eyeshadow palettes laid out on the floor right now because I took them out last night. I am about to sit through them and look at color stories and narrow down what I want to work on for Project Level Up. Now this year I narrowed it down between that and pan those eyeshadows. I'm going to do essentially the same thing, figure out what palettes I want for each level, that sort of thing, how I kind of want to do it, and go from there. So there will be a Project Level Up in January of 25, and I'm really excited about that one. Panning Solitaire is another one that I have been doing for quite a little while now. I think I love the idea of the project and I really do enjoy it. But I think I want to possibly just switch up the palette that I'm working on. Currently, it's the Rose Quartz palette from Huda Beauty. The last time I rolled it in, I was on my second round and I was on my duo. I have hit pan and rather quickly in the shimmer, but the matte is still got a lot of work to go. Now, I also am not really reaching for that palette very often, so I'm not using the shade. It's like very rare that I actually do. The pan in the shimmer though is quite large, so I know I've gotten a lot of love on that, which I'm happy about, and there's other shades in there that I want to use, but I haven't been because I feel like I'm close to hitting pan in a couple of them, so like the shimmers. So I think what I might do is just kind of like put a pause on this project right now. I'm going to go through my palettes, and as I'm trying to figure out what I want for Project Level Up, I'm also going to decide on a brand new Panning Solitaire palette. Huda Beauty, the way her layouts make it very easy because I do like a single, a duo, and then a trio, and then once I hit pan in all of those, I start back at a single and I can do it 3 times because there's 15 shades, so it makes it super easy. 18 shades? 18 shades. But I'm gonna look through my palettes, see what I have, see what palettes I would enjoy doing Panning Solitaire style, and kind of try and see if I can find a brand new palette for that project. My Alice in Wonderland project pan and my hashtag beauty chest, those are the ones that I've been meaning to sit down and film, and then before I know it, the day is gone and I'm like, okay, next month, and then I still haven't done it yet. Those ones I'm going to continue. Hashtag beauty chest I am going to restart because it was officially over technically September. I extended until October, so it would have just been like a couple of days ago that it ended, so I'm going to just stop it. I'm not going to do a finale for this year. I'm just going to refresh probably next month. So I'm going to be a little bit behind. I will end it again in September next year. So it's going to be a little bit shorter, but I'm going to, I think, like, not to be biased, but I really enjoy my projects. So I think I want to put a lot of focus on like my prompt-based projects instead of a bunch of these other year-long projects that I still really enjoy, but I think I just need to find something that's really going to like make me happy considering how this year has gone. I feel like some of these projects, as much as I enjoy them, it's just there's something fun about the prompt-based ones, and I really do like the ones that I made. So Anouk Dominique Rose does as well. So, you know, go check her out if you haven't. She's already started the 3rd round of Beauty Chest, and I haven't even ended mine yet. And she's also doing the Alice in Wonderland project along with a couple of others on Instagram, all that stuff. So please go check everybody else out. I am going to kind of refresh my Alice in Wonderland project next month. Again, that update was only like a day or so ago, so I'm not too far behind on those ones. I am, but I'm not. So I think just like a refresh in Alice in Wonderland is not going to be a big deal because that one only started in August. So I'm not too far behind, but I will get there. You just try and hit every prompt you can within the 1 year. And if you finish them all, then that's just a bonus on top of it all. Other than that, I know there's one more that I need to talk about, which I'm like holding off until the end. I want to just kind of go through and see if there's anything else that I can think of, but I don't believe so. Oh, there's Deck of Panning. I think I'm going to let that one go for next year. I enjoy it so much. Maybe if I feel like I'm missing it, I will join in next year. But I think for right now, I'm ending this year's. I am going to let it go for next year unless I feel like I really need it and I'm missing, and it's just that little extra something. Pulling the cards, the whole game aspect of it, I adore it. I think I might let it go for now. And then other than that, I think I've hit every other project except the one and the only Pan Those Eyeshadows. If you have watched me do that this year, you would know that every single color story, every time I rolled in a brand new shade, I ended up with the exact same color story. It was a purple, it was a blue, it was a yellow. Now, the last update that I did a few months ago, I don't even remember when it was, July or August, I rolled out a yellow from my Unenzai palette, and I rolled in a yellow from the Blends Money Blends palette, and I believe that was Serendipity. The one before that, I rolled out a blue and a purple, and I rolled right back in a blue and a purple. So at first I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna work on those 3 shades for the rest of the year, see how many I can get through and call it a day. But I think I am toying with the idea of letting that project go next year. I adore it so much. I love watching people do it. I love doing it myself. But when it comes to Project Level Up or Pan Those Eyeshadows, I feel like I am more excited about Project Level Up. Now, I want to just, of course, I'm going to be working on less palettes with Project Level Up than I would with Pan Those Eyeshadows. To a point, the way that I did it this year, I have rolled in a couple of palettes more than once because I've narrowed down my selection. And I could do the same thing again, but I think I'd rather hit more pans in a palette than I would one here, one there, maybe go back to that palette in a few months and hit another pan. I'd rather just like focus on a palette, hit the pans that I need to, whatever the goal is, move on to a new palette. Hopefully I can get through a full 5 rounds and start again. I think my focus is going to be on Project Level Up, and I'm going to put a pause on Pan Those Eyeshadows, which is a little hard for me to say. I've been doing it for the last couple of years and I've really enjoyed it. I think my first year panning, I did not do Pan Those Eyeshadows, and I was like, just felt like I needed to. So I think it was in 2021 I jumped in on it, and I have loved it ever since. But there's just something between those 2 projects that Project Level Up just kind of takes a little bit of more of like a priority as to when I'm doing my makeup. And I don't really want them to compete necessarily. So as of right now, I think that's what I'm gonna do. If you have any ideas, what I did think of was with my prompt-based projects, I could always pull in a eyeshadow or pull in a palette and do it Pan Those Eyeshadows style. Like I could randomize a palette, I could randomize the shade. The way that I do it is by the alphabet and then by the number. So I'll randomize A through Z to choose what letter shade I'm gonna work on, and then I have the list of all of my shades in that category. So say I randomized the letter B, I have all of the shades that start with B, and then I randomize 1 through X, and whatever number that is, say I get 5, I count down to 5, and then that's the shade that I use. So I could do that in one of my prompt-based projects. So I think I might do something like that. We'll have to see. If you have any ideas as to how to kind of, pan those eyeshadows into other ways, or how to kind of not prioritize it, but I don't know, just different ideas on what to do with it, maybe I could consider that too, just kind of see. But I think that's it. So for next year, for sure, I'm going to do Project Level Up. For sure, I'm going to do Pan That Face palette. I'm going to continue to do my Alice in Wonderland, my hashtag beauty chest. I am hoping that there's going to be a couple more. I don't only want to do 4 projects. I think there's probably a couple more. I'm just not thinking off the top of my head right now. And just kind of see where things go. But I am going to be ending quite a few projects right now. And hopefully 2025 is going to be my year. And hopefully that starts now. So I just want to thank you guys for sticking around, for taking the time to watch this, to kind of be there, even though I've been like here and gone quite a bit this year. I've been in and out more than once or twice. And I don't like it. I hate it. This is something that makes me happy. So of course I want to sit down and do this, but the idea sometimes of like bringing my ring light out from the other room into my living room, which is where I'm filming right now, just seemed like such a chore that I couldn't do it. I didn't want to do it, so I just never did. I do have a mini tripod, which I need to find so that I can start filming in my spare room, which is kind of what my original plan was. I used to use that before I even got this ring light, but I cannot find it anywhere. So I'm hoping that maybe I can find it, and then that way it's just in the room. It's right there. I don't have to move things. I don't have to find a background because I've got nothing right now. I switched my living room around a few months ago, so things are a little bit different. And this is just where I was sitting for the longest time to film. So with that, hopefully I can kind of like that would make it a little bit easier. But it is out. I'm in my living room. I've got my palettes on the other side of me that you guys cannot see right now, but it is quite messy. So I'm going to go grab my notebook. I'm going to start opening it up, going through the color stories, digging, playing, all of that fun stuff, and figure out how things are going to go and what's going to happen for next year. So that is it for now. So thank you guys so much. I will have a video up for November 1st. I may have to sit and film it right now to make sure that it happens, but it will be there, I promise you. And that's that. We'll have to see how the rest of this year goes and take it into next year, and it's going to be good. I hope. I was gonna say I promise, but with the way this year went, I don't want to do that, but it's gonna be good. I know it's gonna be good. I have to make it good, and that's okay. So again, I just want to thank you so much. I really do appreciate all of you for sticking around and all of that stuff. So that is it for now. I will see you guys in a couple of days, and thanks all for watching. Bye.